Okay. Ah, summer. A time for fun, sun, and awful spray tans. And unless, of course, you'd rather stay up late, burn that midnight oil, wake up far too early in the morning, take on 50 different projects, do the impossible for the ungrateful, and feel exhausted and unfulfilled because nothing that you have done is up to your own exacting standards. My name is Anelle, and I am an unofficial corporate wage slave. And today, I'm here to teach you about how to burn yourself out in a single summer. What is a corporate wage slave, you may ask? Well, a corporate wage slave is someone who, frankly, should not work as hard as what they do. And they do it for not really that good reasons. And frankly, they just seem like a general overachieving son of a biscuit. However, if you wish to become said overachieving son of a biscuit, the only thing you are really going to need to know is how you will be paid. Of course, since it is entirely impossible to put a price on the amount of work you are going to be doing, you are not going to be paid in money. No, you, my friends, are going to be paid in the 3 E's: experience, exposure, and existential crises. Experience, the first of the 3 E's. Because who needs relaxation when you can dive into a whirlwind of projects that that are created by your own hand? Well, how about you question the very concept of free time with a minimum of 6 projects that are wildly different, unfortunately time-consuming, and so elaborate that they would make a professional multitasker blush. If you are aiming to drain your energy resources in record time, then you should maximize your experience. So, in the spirit of misery loves company, let me show you my own personal collection of self-curated pieces of personal suffering. Firstly, I decided I was going to weave a living structure, because obviously traditional gardening is far too mainstream. And secondly, I decided I'm going to do a graphic novel, because who needs sleep when you have an artistic vision to manifest? And of course, not to mention my 3 AP classes, because what better way to waste the fleeting joys of youth than by drowning yourself in academic obligations. Oh, and the cherry on top, a month-long architecture course through Harvard. Because why would you just simply go out and hang out with your friends when you can sit at a desk and slave away for a solid month? After you have completed your projects and you can look back on your work, you will bask in the glory of your accomplishments, a trophy for excessive enthusiasm, and a medal for being perpetually sleep-deprived. As you... Oh, geez, sorry. I'm not doing well right now. Doing great. You too, my friends, if you follow in my footsteps, can learn the lessons of patience, or perhaps just endurance, creativity born from delirium, and the invaluable skill of explaining to your loved ones why you are far too busy to enjoy their company. Now, for the second of our second little gem in this treasure trove of corporate life, exposure. It's like experience, but with a cast of characters that seem to multiply faster than your workload. Because why would you simply keep your pressure levels at a manageable point when you could amplify it into an art form? No, my friends, you must make yourself a spectacle. You must flaunt a name that could send shockwaves throughout a room. Perhaps it's a name of a company you work for, or a school you attended, or maybe even a word you're reaching for. However, once the stage is set, you must outshine your own overachieving self. To accomplish this, I strove for the largest name on the block, Harvard. I spent my July in Cambridge taking a college-level architecture course, naturally. And my personal motive was to refine my work to a level of perfection that would outshine all of my classmates and make my professors weep. This, my friends, is where the fun began. 3 weeks of being gloriously busy, sleep-deprived enough to hallucinate productivity, and cherishing the rare nights where I got 5 hours of sleep. Gorgeous. And all this time, I had my summer senior seminar work sprinkled in there. Just 6 measly little hours a week. By the end of this, I was extraordinarily exhausted, depleted, and frankly wanted nothing to do with any form of work until the end of time. This, however, all of this, I was compensated for my long sleepless nights in the form of a singular email from Harvard congratulating me on my completion of the course. Exposure, my friends. Exposure will not only ensure that you work very hard right now, but it will ensure that you continue to do so for the rest of your stressed, fleeting life. And lastly, we have existential crises, the ultimate upgrade. Existential crises will take you from ordinary folk to full-fledged corporate drone. Buckle up, my friends. The road to your own personal demise is a bumpy one. Step 1, you must chase the impossible. Go for gold with a project that feels like your life's mission, that just screams meaning and purpose. Sacrifice your sanity on the altar of ambition, a small price for the road to greatness, right? Step 2, blow everything out of proportion. Imagine a world-ending catastrophe if you were to drop the ball even once. Pump up the consequences in your mind until every misstep feels like doomsday. Prioritization? Nah, let's bulldoze over mental well-being in style. Step 3, master the art of making things unnecessarily complicated. Make sure your project is so needlessly convoluted that even your guardian angel would be stumped. It should be designed so help-seeking is the lost cause, because if it's not impossible, it's not worth solving. This cocktail of chaos results in a mind stretched thinner than a spider web. All the while, you pour your heart and soul into the projects that seem to determine your very purpose for existence. During my own summer saga, one thing in particular that stood out was the ever-glorious summer senior seminar project. Needless to say, it was quite the adventure. Picture trying to juggle 6 hours of work, minimum, while diving into an architecture program and remembering that you have to do those 6 hours about 2 hours before they are due. The heart-thumping dance between panic and stress, what a spectacle it was. And, of course, seeking help was akin to a crime, until good old Dad tried to step in and help save the day. But how could I believe the deal he'd said he'd made when it seemed all too good to be true? No, sirree, I simply couldn't. Thus, I kept tap dancing on the edge between perfection and breakdown. And, as the cycle repeated, the joy of completion fell to the wayside and was instead replaced by the anxiety of not making it good enough. So, my fellow travelers on the corporate roller coaster, as you hit the peak of your emotional turmoil, you'll know that the tumultuous journey of an existential crisis is the glue that binds you to the world of ambition, until, of course, you simply break, escaping into the woods like a modern hermit, and bid adieu to the rat race. After all this time and energy you have spent curating your minimum 6 experiences, ensuring you have the maximum amount of exposure and pressure, and making sure that you slide into a downward spiral with every passing deadline, you will most assuredly be prepared to burn out in a single summer. Surely, You will look back at this time and wish you'd done more with your fickle younger years, sigh regretfully, and then turn back to your corporate desk at your corporate job as an official, fully grown corporate wage slave. Thank you for your time today.